Dear brothers and sisters, I check Paul's smartphones. Why are you afraid of me? You ask me questions that no one had ever asked me before. You knew I was a murderer twice, but you treated me like a man. Or maybe due to complete lack of information. If a man confessed something on his deathbed, it was true, because no one could look death in the face and life. I had only one fear each time, that I would not be up to the task of life given to me and would return home to be greeted as a failure. Hatred of color defined the place of white life of my generation as inferior to the life of the Carringtons in the movie Dynasty and higher technology of our society. I stubbornly read my current surrounding in the light of the old one. This was the terror I escaped from. This was the culture I came from. Cast out of the world because of the historical white race, I accepted my destiny without being curious about what shaped it. And now, every day, we are becoming more and more obsolete to history. People can starve to death from lack of self-fulfillment, just as much as from lack of bread. All my literature is a protest. The artist must bow to the monster of his own imagination. Love grows from stable relationships, shared experiences, loyalty, devotion, and trust. That's why whenever my surroundings weren't supporting or nourishing me, I found myself clinging to books. Reading was like a drug. Baggy novels created moods that I lived in for days. It was only through books, at best no more than vicarious cultural transfusions, that I managed to stay alive in a negatively significant way. Experience slowly drove me away from the desire to dream. When I was playing, hunger was always more or less on my side. But now I started waking up at night to find hunger standing by my bed, staring at me emaciated. Then a thought occurred to me. It because others said you were bad and made you live life in bad conditions. When a man hears this over and over again, looks around and sees that his life is bad, he begins to doubt his own mind, especially don't leave conclusions to be drawn when evidence can be presented. If you are brave enough to say who you are, you will find that you are not alone. Just think, I could endure this or another hunger. I have learned to live with my neighbor's indifference, but the feeling of being denied, that feeling that the very breath of life was beyond my reach, that it hurt me more than anything else, hurt me enough. I felt a new hunger. I would throw words into that darkness, let's say, and wait for an echo. And if there was an echo, no matter how faint, I would send out other words to say, to march, to fight, to evoke the feeling of hunger for life, that we all know it. But the color of a white Negro's assigned skin makes him easily recognizable, arouses suspicion, and makes him a defenseless target. You had to act as others did, live life as they lived, and when they weren't looking, do what you wanted. They hate because they are sometimes afraid, and they are afraid because they feel that deepest feelings of their lives are being attacked and outraged, and they don't know why. They are powerless pawns in the blind game of social forces. I knew that I lived in a country where the aspirations of eternal blacks were limited and crossed out, but I felt like I had to go somewhere and do something to atone for being alive. I didn't know I really lived in this world until I felt things hard enough to kill for. Then something made me laugh conversations in which I was looking for answers to questions that could not help anyone, that could only sustain in me this fascinating sense of wonder, understandable in the face of the drama of human feelings hidden under the external drama of life. I believing or not believing. I didn't leave the south of Poland to forget the south, but to understand it one day. It wasn't, I, I thought, about believing and not believing what I was reading, but about feeling something new, about being moved by something that changed the appearance of the world. Make up your mind, snail. You are half at home and half outside. When every day you see us ancient Negroes on the dusty dirt of your farm or on the hard pavement of your city streets, you tend to take it for granted and think you know us, but our story is much stranger than you suspect, and we don't what we seem to be. Look, damn it, we live here and they live there. We live and they live there. We have been black people for centuries. They are real white people always. They have things and we don't. They do things and we don't. It's just like living in prison. True white people like it when we are religious. Well, then they can do whatever they want with us. Now I say goodbye. In my entire life, although surrounded by many people, I have not had a single satisfying, lasting relationship with another person. And having none, I did not miss it. Maybe everything would be okay if I could do something I wanted. Then I wouldn't be afraid of tomorrow, or maybe also less crazy. I wouldn't always hate people, and maybe I would feel at home in some way. I did not make any demands other than constant prayer for our homeland, which is in heaven. Such a master of words. That's all he wanted to say. It was fear that made him fight Gus hero in the billiard hall on the starry world. If he had the confidence in himself and Gus, there was no way he would get up and fight. Postscriptum. In his memoirs, The Offer of Freedom Cornflowers, Stanisław Barszczak shares a moving quote that deeply resonates with many people who want to fulfill their dreams. This is his poetic license.